There is a type of healing that does not come with noise. It does not arrive accompanied by explanations, nor does it need witnesses. It is silent, deep, almost invisible to the eyes. But those who have been touched by it know, they feel, they perceive. And often, this process begins when the green energy starts to manifest in small details. You begin to notice the green more intensely, in nature, in clothing, in dreams, in landscapes. It is not a coincidence. It is a code. The color green carries the frequency of healing, of renewal, of new beginnings. When this energy approaches, God is working, not on the outside, from within, in the place that only He can reach. This is not a common emotional healing. It is spiritual. It goes deep, restoring what you didn't even know still needed to be healed. And for this reason, it seems strange at first. But over time, everything starts to align. Mind, body, soul, and purpose. You feel that something is being born anew within you. If you have been feeling this connection with the green, this silent tranquility, this inexplicable calling, do not ignore it. This could be the beginning of a deep process, and you are not alone. Many are awakening to this same reality now. Before continuing, I ask that you follow the channel. This helps this content reach those who are also going through this silent process. It is simple and makes a difference. Now, take a deep breath. Because what is happening to you is not a delusion or a coincidence. It is God restoring what the world has never seen on the outside from within. Some changes do not begin with big events. They start in silences. A different tranquility takes over your day. There is no clear explanation, but you feel it. The mind slows down without warning. The heart feels lighter, even with everything around still confusing. It is at this point that something begins to awaken within you. An interest in nature gradually emerges, a simple desire to breathe fresh air, to see the green with more attention. Trees, plants, leaves, everything starts to catch your gaze more strongly. It is as if creation is telling you something, as if there were a language you always knew but had forgotten. This awakening does not require noise. It presents itself in small details. A place that calms you. A bird song that makes you pause. The urge to be silent for a few minutes. None of this is a waste of time. They are the first signs that your soul is hearing something greater. The green energy manifests before it is understood. It arrives like an invisible embrace, like a breath of peace amidst the rush. When you begin to perceive this frequency, your vibration changes. What once seemed important now feels distant. The focus shifts to what is more essential. It is common for you not to know how to name what you are feeling. You do not need to know. The soul understands before the mind. The awakening happens first in the invisible. Then it reveals itself in choices, emotions, and ways of living. The world outside remains the same, but inside, you are already different. This calling does not impose. It invites. It respects your time. It does not force a transformation. It simply opens space for it to happen. And when you accept this connection, everything begins to align more lightly. Not because everything around you has changed, but because you have begun to change from within. The green energy is subtle but firm. It does not impose itself, but it also does not fade away. It touches deeply. And when this happens, you begin to notice things that previously went unnoticed. The smell of wet earth, the shine of a leaf in the sun, the silent presence of the life that surrounds you. Some people will call this sensitivity, others distraction. But those who feel know, it is neither escape nor weakness. It is awareness. It is perception returning to function as it should. When the green chooses you, it is not because you are special. It is because you are ready to reconnect with what is true. This awakening brings clarity. You begin to see your own feelings with more honesty. The old pains, the senseless rush, the accumulated fears. Everything starts to reorganize. Without forced effort, healing moves naturally. Like a seed sprouting without being pressed. It is in this phase that you understand that healing does not start with medicines or promises. It begins with presence, with perception, with the simple act of allowing yourself to feel, even without knowing what to do with it. When you honor this moment, the green energy finds space to work in you deeply. If you are feeling this quiet change, this desire to be close to nature, this calm that does not depend on circumstances, then accept it. Do not doubt. Do not try to understand everything now. Just feel. This is the first step of something greater. The green has chosen you because the time has come for you to bloom. True healing does not start on the surface. It begins in places that no one sees. Sometimes in complete silence. Suddenly, forgotten memories return. Old sensations resurface. Emotions that were dormant begin to stir within you. It is not by chance. It is God touching what needs to be restored. You find yourself remembering things that no longer made sense to recall. Situations from childhood, hurtful words, moments that seem to be overcome. But now they come back. Not to hurt you again, but to be truly healed. What was pushed to the bottom now rises to be transformed. This healing does not make noise. God does not come shouting. He arrives in the detail. He enters places where no one else has dared to go. Where you yourself have avoided looking for so long. But he looks, and more than that, he treats. He cleans, stitches, and restores life to what was broken. Sometimes you feel a tightness for no reason. A fatigue that is not physical. A desire to cry that comes out of nowhere. And even without understanding, something in you feels it is necessary. Because at this stage, the soul is being reorganized. God is remaking internal connections that trauma erased. You may not even notice external changes, but inside everything is moving. Each pain visited with courage opens space for healing. Each memory recognized with love begins to lose its weight. And little by little, what seemed permanent begins to be dissolved by grace. This surgery is done without a scalpel, but it requires surrender. It does not hurt like a physical cut, but it touches where you learned not to go. Yet God is not in a hurry. He respects each stage. He does not force you to heal quickly. He simply guides you so that you allow this process to happen truthfully. The most beautiful thing about this phase is understanding that you do not need to pretend to be strong. You can show yourself to be fragile. You can allow yourself to feel. God does not heal you because you are strong. He heals you because you are important. Because He saw you break, even when no one else did. And now He has chosen to rebuild you. There is no complete spiritual healing without revisiting what hurt. But now you are not alone. What was once pain is now part of the journey. Your story will not be erased, but transformed. And what once paralyzed you will be exactly what gives you the strength to move forward. You begin to realize that healing is not forgetting. It is remembering without suffering. It is looking back and not bleeding anymore. It is feeling peace where there was once confusion. It is talking about yourself with more lightness, without fear of judgment, because you know you are already being healed. Not on the outside, but on the inside. If you have felt this movement within yourself, do not fight against it. Accept it. Trust it. The pain has not returned. It has simply appeared to be truly cared for. This is the surgery of the soul. And only God knows exactly where to touch. Only He sees where the world never knew you were hurt. To some point, everything that was noise begins to bother. The empty conversations, the unnecessary debates, the urgency to explain oneself. None of this seems necessary anymore. A desire for withdrawal arises, a sincere wish for silence. Not the silence of absence, but that which brings presence. It is in this space that the soul begins to reorganize. You realize that you no longer need to respond to everything. You do not need to convince anyone. The need to prove your worth disappears. Gradually, you empty yourself of external pressure and fill yourself with a new peace that is born from within. The mind slows down. Thoughts settle. The soul begins to breathe. This silence is not loneliness. It is a reunion. It is the moment when you start to hear your own truth without interference, without noise, without distractions. And in this calmer field, you understand what needs to be kept and what needs to be left behind. It is a pause that does not paralyze. It heals. During this phase, you may feel the desire to be more alone, to reduce commitments, to withdraw, even without a clear reason. This is not coldness, it is protection. It is God creating space for the internal process to have time and place to happen. Because healing does not happen in noise. It happens in silence. Many around you will not understand. They will think you are strange, distant, different. And maybe you really are. But this different is a good sign. You are becoming more aware, more connected to what really matters. You are stepping out of survival mode and entering a time of inner rebirth. Silence also brings discernment. In it, you hear what the noise was hiding, your pains, your desires, your faith, your doubts. But more than anything, you begin to hear the voice of God more clearly. It is not a shout, it is a whisper, and only those who silence themselves internally can perceive it. This new state does not require explanation, it simply is. You feel it, you live it, and gradually, it transforms everything around you. You speak less, but when you do speak, it carries more weight. You move less, but when you act, you have more direction. Silence aligns you. It centers you. It strengthens you. Not everyone can withstand this process. Many prefer to fill their time to avoid dealing with what they feel. But the chosen ones know that there is power in withdrawal. They do not flee. They allow themselves to listen, because they know that in this empty space, something new is being formed within them. If you are in this time of silence, cherish it. Do not treat it as weakness. It is there that healing deepens. It is there that the old dissolves and the new begins to take shape. You are not disappearing. You are being reconstructed. At the right time, with the right voice, in the right place. And when this phase passes, because it does pass, you will return different, more grounded, lighter, more at peace. Silence has taught you to hear what was once ignored, and this listening has changed everything. Because those who learn to silence themselves inside begin to truly blossom. When healing truly begins, creation responds. You start to notice things that previously didn't catch your attention. A bird landing nearby, a leaf moving in a different way, the scent of wet earth that calms you. It's as if the natural world begins to converse with you. This bond with nature is not imagination. It is connection. The green energy that touches your soul also awakens something around you. You no longer just see the trees. You feel them. The wind ceases to be just wind. It seems to bring you messages, as if each breeze were a reminder that you are on the right path. Plants begin to call to you. Places with greenery gain a new brightness, and even the sunlight seems more present. It is a silent response from creation to what is happening inside you. God uses the natural to communicate with the spiritual. and those who are awake begin to understand this language. You realize that you do not need to say anything. Nature embraces you without demands. It does not require an explanation. It simply offers presence. The singing of the birds, the swaying of the leaves, the sound of the rain. All of this becomes a discreet hug, a subtle care that only those in process can feel so clearly. Some around will think it is an exaggeration, but it is not. The spiritual world uses the natural to confirm that healing is flowing. Nature recognizes the chosen ones. It approaches, sends signs, and gently touches the spirit of those being renewed from within. You come to truly be a part of it. This awakening changes the way you walk, breathe, and observe. You begin to slow down, to allow yourself to stop, to touch a plant with more attention. And in doing so, something within you also reorganizes. Because nature is not just a landscape. It is a healing tool. If you have felt this connection with the green, with the sounds and smells of creation, accept it. This is a response. It is presence. It is God telling you, without words, that you are being restored, and that now everything around you recognizes this new phase of your soul. At a certain point in the journey, God gathers you. Relationships change, contacts fade away, some doors close without explanation. What once seemed safe now loses its meaning. And at first, this hurts. It feels like rejection. But in reality, it is protection. It is the beginning of the cocoon, the sacred place where God hides you to transform you. Loneliness appears without you having chosen it. But it does not come to punish. It comes to prepare. Inside the cocoon, everything seems still. Silence, distance, few answers. But internally, a deep process is taking place. God is reconstructing your structure, your emotions, your perspective on yourself and on the world. This time is hard to understand. You may miss what was before, even knowing that it was no longer good for you. You may wonder why so much has changed suddenly. But this change is not punishment. It is care. It is the moment where you stop surviving and begin to be reborn. Just as a butterfly cannot be helped out of the cocoon before its time, you too need to complete this cycle. Hurry only delays the transformation. God is not ignoring you. He is working where no one else can touch. And this work requires silence, space, and time. The cocoon is a place of maturation. It is where you detach from the old image, where God aligns your identity with your purpose, where everything that was messy begins to adjust. Not on the outside, but on the inside. You are being shaped to fly in a way you have never flown before. During this process, people may not recognize you. Some will distance themselves. Others will not understand your quietude. And that's okay, because those who are in transformation do not need to explain themselves. They simply need to trust. What is being born in you is more valuable than any external opinion. Spiritual healing does not happen only in the soul. It reaches the body. When God begins to touch the deepest inner areas, the reflection also appears physically. You may feel fatigue, mild pains, drowsiness, or even insomnia. This does not mean that something is wrong. It means that your interior is being aligned with a new time. Sometimes the body feels before the mind understands. You wake up slower, lacking energy, with no desire to interact with the world. And even without major external changes, you notice that something is moving inside. It is the spirit being cleansed, and the body, which carries all the memories, responds to this process. At other times, the opposite happens. You feel agitation, internal heat, a different kind of anxiety. It is not fear or haste. It is your system trying to adapt to a new frequency. What was once normal now feels tight. There is an expansion happening, and the body is trying to keep up with this change. Headaches, muscle tension, a feeling of weight in the chest, or crying for no reason may arise. All of these are forms of release, old emotions, forgotten traumas, repressed thoughts. All of this begins to come out, and the body, like a channel, expresses what is being cleansed in the spirit. This process requires patience. It is not illness, it is realignment. God is removing layers of protection that you have created over time. He is making room for something lighter, something more true. And this temporary discomfort is part of the journey. Just like a deep cleaning, the environment gets messier before it becomes clean. The body holds memories. Each hidden pain, each unprocessed loss, each swallowed word. All of this is recorded. When spiritual healing begins, these marks come to the surface, but not to hurt you. They arise to be released, so that this time you not only endure, but you free yourself. It is important to listen to what the body is saying, not with fear, but with presence. Respect its rhythm. Sleep when necessary. Breathe with more attention. Take care of your nutrition. Spend more time in silence. The body is helping. It is participating in your transformation, and it needs to be treated with kindness. This time also brings increased sensitivity. Loud sounds bother you. Crowds tire you. Shallow conversations drain you. It's as if you are shedding skin, and you are. You are becoming more sensitive to the truth, more aware of what feels good, more selective with what you feed. Not only the body, but also the soul. There comes a moment when you simply feel different. It is not something easily explained. It is a silent perception that something has been healed. What once weighed you down now feels distant. Your mind is clearer. Your soul is lighter, and your way of viewing life has changed without fanfare. You wake up and realize that you no longer react as you did before. Situations that used to destabilize you now find you at peace. Arguments that once drained your energy now lose their meaning. It is as if something inside you has matured. This change is not forced. It arises naturally, after the internal process has been honored. The reunion with yourself does not happen all at once. It is gradual. It is a sequence of small awakenings. One day you realize that you love yourself more. The next, that you respect yourself more. Then you notice that you no longer carry so much weight from others. And little by little, your presence begins to speak more than your words. You start to enjoy your own company more. You learn to listen to yourself without judgment. You start to make choices that are more aligned with who you are, and not with what others expect. Rebirth is this: rediscovering your essence without fear, without masks, without rushing to prove yourself, just being. At this stage, healing has already touched the essential. This does not mean that everything is perfect, but now you have awareness. You know what you deserve, what you want, what you will no longer accept. Silence has shaped you. Pain has refined you. And the green energy was the bridge between confusion and the new you. This new you is not someone different. It is you, whole, without the excess of the past, without the noise of the world, without the expectations of others. Now there is clarity. You move with lightness because you know who you are. And you know that it was God who restored you, in silence, while the world hardly noticed. There is a type of transformation that does not announce itself. It does not come with noise, nor does it need applause. It happens in silence. It starts from within. And when God is in this process, everything around may seem the same. But inside you, everything begins to renew. This is the sign of the green energy. If you have been feeling more connected to nature, more inclined to be silent, more clarity about what really matters, then it is likely that this healing is already underway. It does not come as an event, but as a process. And this process, even without noise, changes everything. The green energy is not just a color. It is a spiritual code. It is God's signature on a heart that is being restored. It comes with lightness, but also with purpose. It reorganizes thoughts, aligns emotions, and awakens sensations that you may not even have known were dormant. You may have spent years trying to fix how you felt, trying to understand why certain pains did not go away, why certain phases repeated, why so many cycles ended without explanation. And now, effortlessly, you begin to realize that what needed healing was not the world. It was you. And God knew that. And now, something new begins to emerge. It is not an invented version. It is your essence, the one that was suffocated by traumas, by demands, by stories that were not yours. Today you understand. The green energy not only calms, it awakens. It reconnects you to what is true. You will not be the same. And this is not something to fear. It is something to honor. Because when God heals from within, what is born on the outside carries truth. You will be light even without saying a word. And just your presence, in silence, will bring peace where there is confusion. Perhaps you cannot explain everything you are experiencing. And that is okay. This process is not meant to be explained, it is meant to be felt. And if at any moment during this journey you felt something change inside, then you already know. The green healing is underway. It is happening now. If you are feeling this power within you, share in the comments. Your words can serve as confirmation for others who are also going through this time of transformation. Sometimes, just the fact that someone says, "Me too," makes everything make sense. You are a sacred seed. And now, nourished by the green energy, you are ready to grow where no one expected.